Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. Been a little while since I've said those words, but the new season has me really wanting to play some more. Ritual League has just started for Path of Exile a few days ago, and we are leveling as a Frostblades Assassin. I'll give you a little bit more info about what that actually means, but just in case you want to play along at home, this is what the gameplay looks like right now. Some things to consider here. I'm level 64 and this is, I think, a level 56 zone, so we do out level it a little bit. I've been playing with my friends, going back and doing content with them as they're trying to catch up with leveling, and overall just having a really chill time progressing through the game with no real expectations. I helped Tim learn how to play some kind of lightning archer. Holly's playing a necromancer, and a few of my other friends are thinking about jumping in for the season, so I'm really looking forward to it. I really like the new season effect. I would love to show that to you guys really quick if I can run into one. I think it's a great way of dishing out items and currency to players, and I also think that not only does it make solo self-found a little bit easier to play, it also makes the whole game in general just a little smooth-lined, and it gives players a lot of agency over the items that they are getting, which is all really good things. So our main ability that we're using is Frostblades. We're also using Leap to jump around. We have a few totems to help with damage. We can give ourselves frenzy stacks to attack faster, and we auto-generate these power charges to deal critical hit damage. This is the first time I've really played a crit character. I've just never really sought it out before. This is one of the rituals. How this works, because it's the first one that we've done, every enemy that we killed, their blood gets siphoned to the ritual point. Did you see that? They were like little orbs of blood moving in. Now, if we activate the ritual shrine, it becomes active, and we have to kill everyone that just died within the ritual's circle, the ritual's area of effect. As we kill them, we gain ritual points, and then we can use those ritual points to buy things from here. As you get higher in the game, more unique or legendary items, whatever you want to call them, start to pile up. I've been getting a ton of currency, and as a result of this, I've actually done more crafting in this league than I have in most others. And look, there's a 5 link right here. A 5 link that you could earn. Now, say this is a little bit out of our price range, which it kind of is right now. We could defer this item for later. Actually, I don't have enough. Let me find another ritual. We didn't have to go far. All of the blood is being collected here. Now we can attack enemies again, and we have to kill the enemies we killed at this ritual, as well as the ones that showed up at the first ritual. So each one of these you do in a zone gets harder, but obviously our AoE clear seems pretty good, so we can just kind of knock it out. Oh, I'm just going to take these fusings. I'm not going to defer that other thing at all. I need fusings. I need fusings and chromatics. I'm making items over here, my dude. Oh, I can even get a chaos if I had a little bit more. I'm going to take that fusing and those chromatics and that transmutation, and then I'm going to feel great about myself. That's kind of how the new Ritual League has been going for me. It's been pretty good. I actually found an Exalted Orb that I sold to fund some of the gear that we're wearing today. Anyway, I'm just making this to show you what my character is like while leveling. We're certainly not through the game yet or anything, but we're a few acts away from, you know, the final story boss. We're a few acts away from maps, and things have been going really well. This build is looking really promising, and I'm really happy with my choice for my league starter going into Ritual League. So there's our intro. Let me show you a little bit of how the character works, just in case you want to follow along at home. Like I said, I did manage to find an Exalted Orb, so I set myself up with a nice tabula rasa. Bought one of these for myself and one of these for Holly. If you, you know, we play a variety of games here on this channel. If you're not familiar with PoE, it's kind of you know, it's a isometric action ARPG. What does that mean? It's like Diablo. You go around, you kill stuff, you get loot. However, there's a lot more customization than what you might necessarily get with Diablo 3 inside of Path of Exile. Now, I'm an avid D3 player. I really like it. I'm looking forward to the next season of that. We'll probably be showcasing that off. But PoE every now and then just gets its claws in me and pulls me back in, and I feel like I have to learn everything about the game over again. This time around, if I have a question I feel like I should ask, I also want to help convey that question and the answer to that question to new players. So look out for some hopefully kind of fun, hopefully educational videos about PoE coming up on the channel in the future. Anyway, so how skills work in this game. I am a shadow. That is the class I picked, although that only determines where I start on the talent tree. Yes, I know this is very intimidating if you've never seen PoE before. Don't even worry about it. So we're playing as a shadow that is using frost blades and then picked the subclass of assassin. And I can tell you a little bit about that in just a moment. So at level 1, we made our way to the right out of our skill tree, working our way over to Fangs of the Viper, made my way south and picked up Forces of Nature. Since I last played, they added in something called cluster jewels. So this is just like a jewel, kind of like this one, that have been in the game for a long time. You can add the jewel into a socket and it gives a bonus effect. Well, at some point, cluster jewels became a thing, so I was able to pick up a lot of extra elemental damage to go along with my frost blades. We are evading damage. That's one of our main forms of mitigation, and acrobatics comes in pretty big there. There's some really juicy sword damage keystones with Fatal Blade and Brutal Blade to the bottom right of where we started. And I just kind of filled this out, grabbing as much health as I could with Blood Drinker, getting Assassination for extra damage, increased maximum life with Blood Siphon. There's also a really nice evasion and maximum life and damage node and revenge that you can take a look at as well. All of this is going to be linked down in the video description. I found this video with a guide and we'll be linking that guide down there too. It's been working out so far. I really enjoy it. However, if you do decide that you want to play along at home, I recommend picking up Life and Mana Leech way earlier than what I did. I picked this fucking thing up at like level 60 and it, oh man, not having to use a mana potion really smooths out this build, especially when you consider how fast I can attack. Let me go back and we'll just go outside so you can see how fast I can swing. It's pretty fast. It's pretty fast. And I was just going through mana like crazy, spending mana like crazy, chugging potions like crazy. And what was happening was I was just spending more mana than I was able to consume until we got that leech node. So some of my attacks just weren't even connecting with our damaging spell because I didn't have any mana whatsoever to actually make it work. But with that leech, it solves the problem really easily. So this build is all about using frost blades, critting really hard, and dealing damage to all enemies across the screen. Our main 6 link from the Tabula Rasa is using frost blades. It is supported by close combat, multi-strike support, ancestral call support, elemental damage with attack support, and melee physical damage support. This is our main spammy ability. This is what we're using on our right click, and we like it quite a lot. We are using 2 unique weapons right now, the Ichimonji Corsair Sword. This thing is really cool until you realize that Holly's playing as a necromancer that has a lot of auras. So these weapons are really good for me right now. However, I am going to be looking to swap these out soon. In the link I'm using in my weapon, we have Blood Rage, Leap Slam, and Fortify support. Fortify support with Leap Slam allows me to jump around areas, and then if I land on someone with this attack, it is going to give me the Fortify buff, where we take less damage for a few seconds as we engage in each pack. So as we're moving around, we just jump in on stuff, take less damage, and then use Frost Blades to completely blow up the area with that frost damage. The Blood Rage is an toggleable ability. Not really toggleable. It's a buff that you get for 10 seconds, but it refreshes every time you kill an enemy. And that's going to allow us to get some frenzy charges as we're moving through things. Frenzy charges are a buff that'll show up at the top of the screen. You can see we have one right here. It stacks up to 3 by default with our particular build. And those frenzy charges not only allow us to attack faster to deal more damage, but it also increases our attack speed so we can jump around faster with the leap and move through areas much quicker than we would be able to otherwise. Part of being an assassin, which is my subclass for Shadow, is also giving us power charges, which is giving us some pretty nice critical hits here and there, along with some of the passives that we picked up along the way. We then are using Hatred and Herald of Ice to give us damage in return for reserving some of our mana. So Herald of Ice is increasing our ice damage, Hatred also increasing our ice damage. We have a pet. It's an ice elemental that's increasing our hit and crit chance. And is there anything else? Yes, Ancestral Totems. We have a Culling Strike totem setup, and all this means is we summon totems when we fight a boss, and if the boss gets low on health, those totems are going to execute it. So that's our build. I wanted to give you guys a quick explanation so you could follow along with the streams. I do plan on streaming quite a bit of PoE this league, so if you want to stop by and see that, you can. I need to clear another level of labs, so you've seen how well this does with AoE packs. Let's see how well it does versus a boss that admittedly I overlevel by a pretty considerable amount. Our gear isn't anything too special right now. We do have some pretty decent fire resistance, or elemental resistances in general. Our lightning, I believe, is a little lacking. Also, one thing to point out is I have the Rat's Nest Ursine Pelt. It has +2 level to socketed fire gems, increase attack speed by 15%, increases our critical strike chance, our evasion rating, rarity of items found, our movement speed, and it also reduces our character size just a tiny little bit. So the labs are one of my favorite parts of the game. If you've seen any of my earlier PoE coverage from, at this point, from years ago, then you will know a little bit about labs. Basically, I play on softcore. I don't like my characters going away when I die because I die all the time. There's no shame in that. It happens. I'm not great at this game. I'm still learning every single day. So a nice middle ground I've always found is doing laboratory, because laboratory makes it really intense. If your character dies, it's dead, well, for a moment, but you lose all of your progress for a particular laboratory run. And we are moving through this laboratory, looking for treasure, looking for bosses, trying to figure out how to navigate around these deadly traps around each turn. But the reward at the end is increasing the power of our subclass. We increase the power of Assassin to make us even better at completely annihilating the game. So I would like to end this video with us just killing that boss. I leveled up in here and unlocked this keystone down at the bottom of my passive tree, so I'm going to be able to add on my Flight for Survival Verdant Jewel. This is actually my second one. Increases our cold damage by a little bit, also lets us penetrate with both gems 30% of our target's cold resistance, just amplifying our damage even more. In order for this to work, it just needs to have 4 dexterity nodes around it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We did it! Yes! Okay. The first stage of the boss is right through this door. I'm going to use our totems, Ancestral Protector and Ancestral War Chief. We're going to set those up. I'm just going to town. I have some flasks that give us increased crit chance. And as you can see, that can add up quite a bit. Our evasion allows us to just outright dodge some attacks, although it's a little bit sketchy. With evasion, your health can really take a bit of a beating. Keep in mind, this is a level 55 zone, and I'm level 65. So we are kind of bashing through it, but that's okay. It's still an accomplishment. That's okay. Second phase. Take your time, bud. I'm not in a hurry. You do whatever you need to do. Okay, totem 1, totem 2. Attack speed buff. Go! Okay, we're good. He's dead. He doesn't know it yet. All right, this is the final phase. I've pushed through many rooms in the labyrinth to get here, but with the power of editing, it's taken no time whatsoever. If I defeat the boss here, we become much more powerful, and wouldn't you know, with the culling strike on the totems, that's one of the easiest things we could possibly do. I need to make sure nothing else kills me while I'm looting here. That would really suck. We got a couple extra treasure keys, and we found some other ones throughout the labyrinth, so we should get some pretty juicy rewards here. I'm just gonna click at random. Hey, you know, not bad. Not terrible. Not terrible. But, of course, labyrinth is such a fun, exciting time because you get to upgrade your build, usually in a pretty meaningful way. I could grab some elusive. You take no extra damage from critical strikes while elusive. That would help us stay alive. Alternatively, we could pick up damage from your critical strikes cannot be reflected. Oh, right. They removed the movement speed from Assassin. All right, we're getting the increased critical strike chance and the +5 to critical strike multiplier per power charge. 1.5% critical strike chance while at maximum power charges. I'm in. It's just going to have us critting more often, and I'm happy to do that. This was only the second difficulty of Labyrinth. There's 2 harder versions in the game, and I always really look forward to doing them. But really, what the point of this video was just to say I've been playing PoE. Ritual League has been really, really fun. And if maybe you were on the fence of checking it out, maybe now is a good time. This game just keeps growing and growing and growing in the amount of numbers of concurrent players it has and new players it has. So it's always a good time to jump in and check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. More PoE videos coming in the future. Take care. See you again soon.